What's going on, all you gamers? Here we are back with some more Outriders, and today I've got some good news for you because yesterday they managed to implement the patch that will change the legendary drops. So if you want to know what's changed and my views on it, then stay tuned. That's coming up next. Welcome back, all you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, and of course a lot of the latest and greatest in content, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon. But for today, I'm going to keep this one not quite as long-winded, a little bit more brief, and just let you know how it's going and how I feel that they got on with the actual patch. So if you don't know, this patch was to address the legendary drop rate more than anything else. There are a few other things that's come about that I will list, but the main thing was they're going to be implementing the legendary drop rate across the board is going to be increased by 100%. Now, other than that as well, probably the best thing is the fact that it will re-roll those legendaries that drop, and if there's something that you've already got in your stash or on your character, it's going to re-roll it once, giving you an even greater chance to get something that you're waiting for. So it's going to help you gear up and get those vital bits of gear that you're really struggling to get. And in the past, hundreds upon hundreds of hours have been trying to get certain pieces. Now that definitely shouldn't be the case, especially for those kind of class orientated pieces or the ones that seem to be a bit tougher, such as the Death Shield. Now, if you're watching this on the day of my releasing it, I am a little bit late to the party on this one as it came out last night. I thought they were going to bring it out on Thursday, I must admit, and for some reason I didn't get a notification from Twitter. But it is implemented, it is live now. So if you were worried about not getting any gear, or if you were suffering from a little bit of burnout because you just weren't managing to get anything you needed or anything different, now will be the time to give it a try, as you're much more likely to get something that you need or that you haven't had before at least. Now I'm going to go over a few things, such as the fact that legendary level brackets have been removed. This basically means that pretty much all of the loot can be obtained at any time, whereas before some things only dropped above level 48 I believe, such as what they've exampled is the Yugaki Cow. Another really nice thing is scripted boss loot, such as the Chrysaloid and Yagok, are now able to drop all non-class specific legendary helmets. This is just a nice way to kind of gear up on those helmets if you've been a little bit unfortunate and you just want one way to farm those specific items. Another thing, the luck system has been improved, and players should no longer experience very long droughts without a legendary item during endgame. So basically CT 13, 14, 15s, if you're doing those, you shouldn't be going a long while without kind of legendary gear dropping, because if you are, something's definitely wrong now, especially with those increases. Now another thing to note, which is quite nice actually, if you've got a console, they've added extra options on the settings for controller customization, such as the fact that you can change the dead zones, look sensitivity, acceleration, and basically the button layout and such. This is really nice, and in some cases it can really help players to customize their layout and functionality to how they actually want it to work. Now as for the main thing, the legendary drop rates and such, how do I feel about it and am I glad it's in place? Yes and yes, 100%. Now I would like to tell you that everything is perfect, but in all honesty I haven't had a chance to jump on yet. I am almost 100% sure that things have changed for the better though, because a friend basically screenshot and sent me 2 pictures of him getting the Lava Light helmet back to back in 2 runs, and he, like myself, has not been able to net himself any of those throughout his previous playtime. So it may be luck, but I doubt it very much. I think that it's definitely working as intended, and I'll let you guys and girls know exactly what I think in a future kind of update from myself once I've played it a little bit more and I've got a bit more hands-on. But I'm really looking forward to grabbing a few things that I need and then moving on to another character and gearing them up a lot easier. So for myself, I think this is an amazing patch and very possibly the best one to date. Now is the time to go back on and let me know what you think. If you've noticed the increase, please chuck it in the comments and let me know what legendaries you've got that you were really struggling to get. Now what I'm going to do before I finish off, I'm just going to kind of go over a few of the other patch notes because some of them are quite good as well, because some of them are well worth noting. So firstly, the Xbox has had improved sign-in times, which is really good because on older versions it was very long, I must admit. The Epic Store version fixed an issue that was prevented the pre-order of Hell's Rangers gear from unlocking as intended. Made improvements to multiplayer connectivity. Fingers crossed that's one, because ultimately, honestly, that's one of the biggest downfalls of this game, is the actual connectivity between multiplayers. Next up is Earthborn gear. Hell's Ranger DLC equipment can now be scrapped. I know that's going to make a lot of people happy. I've had a few subscribers tell me about that, and I'm sure that will put a smile on some people's faces. Fixed an issue that was causing old inventory items to be marked as new. Now, I don't know if that's going to be perfect, because I've still had a few people in my comments say that that hasn't actually worked 100%, but again, let me know if it's working in your game or if you're still struggling with that. Fixed a bug that prevented players from running if they were stunned while using the Trickster's Cyclone skill. Next up, and this one's quite a good one actually, fixed a bug that allowed a combination of two closely timed attacks to result in visual one-hit kills on players, from Alpha Perforos and Behemoths and Broodmothers. Again, that's something I really want to look into that actually. I'm going to give it a bit of playtesting, because that was one thing that I heard a lot of people saying, that it looked like it was a double hit and that was what was instant killing them. That would make it really nice if they have fixed that animation. Fixed a bug that caused the scrap grenade projectile to be blocked by dead enemies. Fixed a bug that caused Feed the Flames Ash effect to not trigger properly in multiplayer. Fixed a bug that caused weapon mod Ravenous Locust to not deal damage if used together with the Weightlessness mod. I did not know that in the slightest. That's very strange. And mitigated an issue whereby players could get stuck in an animation after using Gravity Jump in multiplayer. That one right there, honestly, that is a massive one. I'm really glad they've done that. It was making my Devastator just unplayable, and that's probably my favourite skill on them. And finally, crash fixes. All in all, absolutely amazing. It didn't mention the fact that Scrap Grenade doesn't proc sometimes after the loading screens and such, but maybe they have sorted that? I don't know, it's not mentioned, so I guess we'll find out. But all in all, guys and girls, honestly, now is the time. Jump back on if you enjoy Outriders and you've kind of been giving it a rest because you're not getting any loot, and let me know how you get on. Fingers crossed everything is much better, and hopefully it sounds like they're trying to work towards making the multiplayer a lot more functional as well. As always, guys and girls, Full Things Gaming, Full Things Xbox. Take care, I'll see you on next day.